Welcome to another lesson about the American English language and culture. I am Teacher Gloria's Feeling. Today I'm going to talk to you about one of the parties in the USA. It's called Juneteenth. What is Juneteenth? Let's start with the word. When you combine June and 19th by removing the word and the N-I-N-E, 9, put them together and you get Juneteenth. On June 19th, 1865, we started partying in the USA. This was 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. Emancipation history, to give you a brief history, started with the Civil War. We had two competing opinions. The North wanted to eliminate slavery in the United States, and in the South of the United States, people wanted to keep slavery. These two competing opinions and two areas of the United States started to fight with each other in a civil war. And the North started to have more success in the year 1862. So, the president at the time, Abraham Lincoln, proclaimed, or he stated, freedom, which is another way to talk about emancipation. It means freedom. So he wrote a document on September 22nd of 1862 called the Emancipation Proclamation. That document indicated that on January 1st in 1863, we would officially end enslavement in the United States. So January 1st, 1863 was an official day. Unfortunately, not everyone had heard the news in 1863. So the Union Army, and the Union was in the North, had to inform the people. They took the news all over the land, and they took it to the Confederacy. The Confederacy is a name for people in the South who owned slaves. So they informed everyone that slavery had ended. They made it to Galveston, Texas, 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, on June 19th. And that is why we say Juneteenth, and we have a great party. Unfortunately, slavery didn't just end. The president wrote a document, and the army proclaimed and spread the news. However, people didn't just stop with their enslavement of African Americans. We had to have an amendment to the United States Constitution, and that officially ended slavery. But some people liked their slaves so much, they still did not stop enslaving people. They continued. They decided to move away from America to other countries. The Confederacy called itself in Portuguese Os Confederados, and in Spanish Los Confederados. And they set up new places to live in Brazil, such as a settlement called Americana, and they also set up a place in Mexico called Carlota, and they continued with their lifestyle of enslaving people. That was very unfortunate for those who were enslaved. But here in America, we were partying. Juneteenth is a great party, and for 100 years it continued to grow in popularity. But in the 1960s, which was 100 years after the 1860s, there was a civil rights movement in America. And unfortunately, for those 100 years following the Emancipation Proclamation and the Civil War, some rules were established that separated Americans. But in the 1960s, some new rules replaced the old rules, and the new rules unified Americans. These new rules meant that all people could socialize together at the beach. All people could socialize together at a hotel. All people could eat together if they wanted to at a restaurant. I have been celebrating Juneteenth all of my life. This is one of the great parties in the USA for me. And I want to thank you for taking the time to learn about Juneteenth. It's especially fun for me this year because Juneteenth was only celebrated in states. Certain states declared it to be a holiday. But on June 15th, 2021, the United States Congress voted to make Juneteenth an official national holiday. So now, all across America, we're officially partying. I want to thank you for listening to this cultural video, and I encourage you to do your own study. Use my sources as a place to begin with these websites. Thank you again for learning about Juneteenth and American culture.